All right.
Welcome back, everybody. And
I'm borrowing her glasses because I
yeah,
forgot my glasses.
he looks good in them
Thank
too.
oh, thank you, thank you. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm wearing this costume in the show we were just in that we referenced in the first half,
Yeah.
and some kid said I look like with this costume on and the glasses. I look like an old Harry Potter. I said, oh, I guess
Oh
Harry
man.
Potter's a good-looking kid. So
Yeah, yeah.
Harry Potter, Harry, a geriatric Harry Potter. Here, wear these. All right. Also, I got a haircut.
Oh, I love your
Thank you.
haircut.
Yeah, thank you. Joined the Navy.
Oh.
The weird thing, I have a lot of black hair, but a lot of gray hair too. So when it gets
uh.
cut short, it looks grayer. But as it gets longer, the black hair, there's more of it. So it
Yeah.
kind of overwhelms the gray hair. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's not. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right.
My sister told me that a man, she said this is the difference between men and women, and men and women. We're talking over 40.
Yeah.
Says after 40, every woman fools with their hair and changes the color in their hair. But after 40, a man should never do that. A man should just let his hair get whatever
Yeah.
color it is. Now, the thing about unless he's in like in show business or something, then you could want to look young and everything, put the Grecian formula to it or something.
Mhm.
But like for example, when a politician wears a wig or dyes his hair, he loses trust because he's already lying to you without even opening his mouth. So Trafficant, the guy James Trafficant who went to jail, and Trent Lott, who had to resign many years ago, all wig wearers. But actually, it looks a little better than it usually does my
Yeah.
hair.
I
Yeah,
love
because yeah,
I
I just
love it.
most of the time I got the Rand Paul look. Speaking of
Yeah.
speaking.
Right.
So what else been going on? What have you been up to?
I've been busy with rehearsals
Hmm.
because I got other shows I'm doing after Peter Pan. So
Yes.
I got three more coming up.
Wow. Tell me what those shows are.
There's one called Dragon Slayers,
Hmm.
The Stinky Story,
Hmm.
and then Let It Be.
Let it be.
Yeah, so three of those I'm working on right now.
I'm in actually one of those shows, and I'm in Let It Be.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do an audition for Heather's,
Yes.
which is
Okay.
coming
Heather's
up
coming up.
next about another month or so.
Let It Be is this musical with Beatles songs,
Mhm.
and and it's not a karaoke show. It's not like the people come up and just sing Beatles songs. It's
Yeah.
actually has like a little plot to it, sort of like Moulin Rouge
Mhm.
or what's the other one? Mamma Mia, with these
Yeah, Mamma
already
Mia,
existing already
here we
existing.
go again, Mama. Da, 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 da.
I'm glad you learned the words for the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, but those shows, and then people say, in fact, I was accused of this. Was I told everybody that person's singing. Don't sing while they're singing. And then I realized that what a fool I am. If you want to sing along to the singers, that's fine because this show and Mamma Mia and Moulin Rouge and what's the other one? Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
The Sound of Music. Everybody in the audience is singing along to those songs.
Also, Carousel.
You sing along to Carousel?
Well, Carousel is a Broadway musical.
Well, there's a lot of I mean, but do you know the song so well in Carousel?
Not by heart, though, but
No, but I mean Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, the feet, feet, sweeping down the plain.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the street and the raging wheat. It goes on from there. I
I
had to sing that.
love
I
that
had to sing
musical.
that. I had to sing that in a show.
I love that musical.
I played
I had the
Curly.
soundtrack of it. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Carousel is. I
Oklahoma.
Carousel has
I don't think it's as popular
Yeah,
as
it's not as
Oklahoma,
popular. In fact, a lot of the
but it's
it's
still a
actually
good show.
it's a very depressing show. Now Oklahoma, on the other hand, has all these what a beautiful. And people, let me tell you something.
Oh,
Everyone, and this is Rogers Hammerstein, of course, but Carousel came first, and then Oklahoma, and then down the line came The King and I and The Sound of Music. But let
Sound of
me tell you
Music.
something. Those songs that are in those later shows, oh, everybody's singing along in the audience.
Mm,
You know, they should actually just give you like in your playbill just
yeah.
all the lyrics so everyone could just sing along
Right.
to do re
Right.
mi so
The baby.
so I have a feeling in this Let It Be show you don't even have to be a musical fan.
Yeah.
You I mean a fan of Broadway musicals.
Yeah.
It's never played on Broadway,
Yeah.
but it's all Beatles songs, and every song in it I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Me too.
everyone's gonna
Me
be singing.
too. Right? Me too. I know
Everyone's
every
gonna be
single song
singing.
of the Beatles.
Everyone's gonna be singing along in there. Yeah,
Yeah. I
so
have a lot of Beatles albums, so I know every one of them by heart.
I have probably every Beatles album.
Me too.
Yeah, if not the Beatles, then I have access to them somehow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have the LP. Had maybe on a cassette tape somewhere. Have
Yeah.
a album. I know. A certain. What's your favorite Beatles album?
My favorite Beatles album, I have to say, Abbey Road.
That was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, Abbey Road, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts
Oh
Club
yeah, that
Band,
was really good.
and there's other ones like Rubber Soul.
Yeah, they're all
And
good.
yeah, I mean,
They're all
I
good.
also like those collaborated ones where they have like from 1962 to
Oh yeah,
1967. I got both of those. I
the
got
blue album and the red
Yeah, I
album.
got the
Yeah,
red and the black. I got both.
I bought the blue one first. It was one of the first albums I
Yeah,
ever bought. It was a double record, and it's just so
yeah,
good.
I like it.
And then I think not immediately, but probably a few years later,
Yeah,
I got the red one. This is before CDs. And
yeah.
what's kind of neat about them is they actually had the inner sleeves had the lyrics to
Oh
all the
yeah.
songs, and thus not only were pretty much every major Beatles song was on those 4 discs, 8 sides,
Mhm.
2 double albums.
Yeah.
And I actually read an art, not read it, heard it on YouTube. There's actually a whole thing explaining how it sounded different in different
Mhm.
countries, and some versions are different of.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, if you have that,
Yeah.
that was your greatest Beatles album ever.
Right.
You really didn't have at those days. You didn't really have to listen to all the other
I
Beatles albums
know.
because
I
you had
know.
those, the
Yeah.
blue and the red album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have those because I might not have like all the other title albums that have like the same songs in it.
yeah,
So that's why I got the greatest hits albums too.
yeah.
Yeah, and I do love them all.
Oh yeah,
You know, but I have the I just like the Beatles anyway. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I always have to. Anytime the Beatles come out, I always have to say. I always give my little speech. I've seen 2 of the 4 Beatles. They're both coming to town,
Yeah.
but I saw Paul McCartney in Charlottesville. But before that, I went to the Beacon Theater in New York City and saw Ringo. So I've
Oh,
seen the other 2 I can't see,
yeah.
but
Because they're passed away, so that's
that's why.
why.
That's why.
It's a shame too, because I would have liked to go
Well,
and see them if they were still living, if they were still would have done concerts. So
yeah. Well, I saw Eric Idle. He was a. I think I mentioned this before. Eric Idle was of Monty Python, of course, comedian
mhm.
who wrote all the songs for Monty Python. A lot of people don't know. Even the songs he didn't sing, the songs like "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life," the stuff that's in Camelot,
Yeah.
Spamalot, I should say. And then he also wrote all these.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was like an intro to some kind of Monty Python
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, I
and
forgot
then
what it was, but
but he wrote all these, about the lumberjack and everything.
oh yeah.
And I Like Chinese and all those other good songs.
Mhm.
And he came to Richmond and he performed. I didn't meet him, but I saw him, and he said that he was like one of George Harrison's best friends.
Mhm.
He produced George Harrison after he was with the Beatles produced a few movies that Monty Python appeared in, and what happened was. Um, this is a wild way. He said he actually said the eulogy at George Harrison's funeral.
Oh wow.
And all the big stars were there, all the friends of George Harrison.
Mhm.
And the first thing Eric Idle said was, "I want to thank the makers of Marlboro cigarettes for bringing us all together today." He died of,
Wow,
smoking
yeah.
too much.
Mm.
This gives you some idea how you could be smart in one thing or so dependent on another thing.
Right.
George Harrison was like a vegetarian and
Yeah.
somewhat of a health nut and stuff. Couldn't quit smoking. Couldn't
Right.
quit smoking, and
Right.
that's so the joke was the real joke. If you want
Right.
to go out of that gallows humor, was he
Right.
said that I want to thank the makers of. First thing he said at the funeral was, "I want to thank the creators of Marlboro cigarettes for
Right.
bringing us all together today." And
Exactly.
that got some
Yeah.
sort of laugh. But then he said, and he's in Richmond, Virginia. He says, I never thought I'd perform in the same city that makes the Marlboro cigarettes because we're a big tobacco town. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've been listening to a lot of good music lately.
Yes. So have I.
And I've been listening to Tom Jones.
Yes, he's good. He's great. He's from
Yeah,
the Wales originally, from the
from
Wales.
from Wales. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
and
Welsh.
yes, he's Welsh, and
His wife
he's really
recently
good too.
died, sadly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I heard. Yeah.
he was married to her a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I think they only had one son, and he's like his manager.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Tom Jones. Tom Jones is now 81 years old, still
Wow.
performing. And
Wow.
when you go to if you can get it on YouTube or something, there's it's called The Voice. There's an
Mm.
American version
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, with Katy Perry on it
Yes.
and stuff,
Yes.
and but the and Adam Levine, and
Hmm.
The Voice. I don't have to
Yeah.
explain what the voice is, but he does the English version of it.
Oh yes.
Lionel Richie, I think, is on. Yeah. No, Lionel Richie's on that other show.
Yeah. He's.
He's on American Idol. I get all these shows confused.
Oh
I get the
wow.
host confused.
I did see
Is
a
he on
little.
that one or that one or that one?
I did see a little snippet a while back.
Tom
When
Jones?
yeah, and I think it was sometime around Tom Jones's birthday or something.
Mhm.
Stevie Wonder came on
Yeah.
the show, and then he wanted to sing to Tom Jones, a happy birthday. So then Tom Jones was like really emotional because him and Stevie Wonder have been friends for way back.
Well, Tom
When
Jones might, when you think about it, of all the popular singers, he's, we Tony Bennett you probably won't see again, and all the others have passed on. Even the Everly Brothers are gone. But Tom Jones, of your like Las Vegas singers, he's now the elder statesman of them.
he should be the next Wayne Newton.
Wayne, actually, I like Tom Jones. I mean, I like his singing
Yeah, I
better.
mean, yeah.
I don't listen to any Wayne Newton, I don't think. But Tom Jones, I could listen to all day.
Oh yeah.
Wayne Newton's all right, but
I
he's
know
not Tom.
you
He's not Tom
so
Jones.
you ain't no Tom Jones.
And Tom
That's for sure.
Jones, Tom Jones has that wonderful deep voice and singing. Do you know that when I think he was discovered by Jerry Lee Lewis in England
Uh-huh.
performing,
Uh-huh.
and brought him to America to be perform with him, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Tom Jones, also Tom Jones. I think people always compare him with Engelbert Humperdinck. They had the same
Yeah.
manager, and
Oh
they had
yeah.
pretty much the same kind of career, same hits,
It's not
types of hits.
unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to be loved with anyone.
Yeah. But that's like the first song on this greatest hits album. It is weird. He has all his hits on this album, but it's not unusual. Was like his first hit. I think his first really big hit was a song, uh, "What's New Pussycat." It was in the movie.
Whoa, what's the pussycat? Whoa.
Yeah, Burt Bacharach
Yes.
song. And then but I've been listening to this album a few times, and then all the songs are good. But and the way he sings is so good. The theme to Thunderball was really good.
Mm.
It's the only James Bond theme he ever did, and he does a good job on it.
Yeah.
And I was at a radio. We used to work at a radio station that played rock and roll music, and